we cannot ignore the UFO phenomenon itself. As technology continues to develop, the likelihood of finding proof of an unidentified flying object from outer space increases. 2015 saw a breakthrough when documents on UFO sightings by the Army were released to the public. The so-called Blue Book declassified 130,000 pages of formerly top-secret material. Today, most of the cases are explainable as natural events, but 6% of these events still remain a mystery. According to ufologists, this is clear evidence of the presence of aliens on Earth. The most debated UFO case took place in 1947 in Roswell, New Mexico. Speculation is still rife that the American Army discovered a crashed alien spaceship along with its crew. The US Air Force changed the official version of the incident several times in the following years. One story was that a weather balloon had crashed at the site. To this day, the incident is surrounded by conspiracy theories, and ufologists believe it to be the biggest military cover-up in history. Ufologists also consider the current Disclosure Project, led by Professor Stephen Greer, to be indisputable proof. Professor Greer gathered more than 500 testimonies of former Army, government and intelligence employees. The contents of these statements appear to prove the existence of encounters with extraterrestrial technology.
We're watching a UFO on a radar that was hovering at about 80,000 feet. It sat there for about 10 minutes and then slowly descended until it dropped off the radar. It was gone for about 5-10 minutes, and then instantly reappeared at 80,000 feet, stationary.
There is myriad life in the universe, and that life, full of mystery, is more than just statistics. Another important aspect in the search for evidence of extraterrestrials are the many testimonies of direct encounters with aliens. These are so abundant that the term contactees was established and is used for people who claim to have encountered aliens. These people usually claim that they've been given a message. The highest occurrence of contactee testimonies was in the 1950s, which some believe is related to alien interest in the human use of nuclear power. In addition to contactees, there are abductees. Probably the most famous abduction case, which later inspired a film, took place on the 5th of November 1975 in Arizona, when a group of lumberjacks were returning home from working in the woods. Even today, they still all agree that they witnessed an alien spaceship hovering motionlessly in the air. There was a ray of blinding light, and one of them, Travis Walton, disappeared. He was missing for 5 days. When he reappeared, he recalled frightening experiments on board an alien aircraft. His testimony was never disproved, and he successfully passed a lie detector test. In analyzing the statements of people who claim to have encountered or been abducted by aliens, there are similarities. There's the UFO sighting, then an intense ray of light and a crackling sound, followed by paralysis of the contactee or abductee while remaining fully conscious. There is no hard proof that this has ever happened, but we can assume that if such an event did occur, it is unlikely the information would be released to the public. Several countries have budgets designated for programs and projects that are being kept secret from the public. And some of these programs have been considered to be proof of extraterrestrial activities on Earth. One of these is a group called Majestic 12, or MJ12, the code name of an alleged secret committee of scientists, military leaders and government officials formed in 1947 by President Harry S. Truman after a series of UFO sightings above US territory. Even today, MJ12 is shrouded in mystery and remains the source of many conspiracy theories. Allegedly, the organization has transformed into an elite committee of scientists and officials with even greater authority than the CIA, subordinate only to the president. MJ12 was involved in Project Aquarius, a program closely related to UFO activity. It was officially named in 1960, but there are speculations that it was established at the behest of President Eisenhower in 1954. The project switched from secret to top secret classification and then to the highest degree, top secret ORCON. The aim of the project was to gather all scientific, technological, medical and media information linked to sightings and encounters with unidentified and identified alien life forms. According to some of the project's participants, this information was later used in advanced technological research. The surviving documents, whose authenticity cannot be proven, show that in the 1970s MJ12 was called MJ3, and in 1976 the materials they had discovered were more advanced than our own by thousands of years. Most of these highly classified projects are not concerned with the actual existence of alien life forms, but rather with the question of how these encounters can be exploited to advance our own technology. Statistically, every star has at least one orbiting planet, which means that our galaxy alone must contain more than 100 billion planets. Most of them are, at least in size, similar to Earth. Logically, we may deduce that the probability of our planet being the only one to host life is very slim. Recent calculations have increased the probability of inhabitable zones in our galaxy, meaning that some planets, thanks to their atmosphere and distance from their star, have the potential to support life. If we also consider the fact that life emerges spontaneously, even in harsh conditions, even scientists have to agree that we cannot be alone in the universe. There are an estimated 10 billion planets similar to Earth. Besides the Milky Way, roughly 500 other galaxies have been discovered thus far. The probability of life outside our solar system is therefore indisputable. The likelihood of the existence of a civilization as developed as ours, or even more advanced, is still widely discussed. In the light of other discoveries revealed in this episode, we can imagine that this likelihood is very high. In fact, many would say it's no longer a possibility, but a certainty. Let us examine specific space missions. A number of astronauts recounted that they came across objects in space which showed characteristics of controlled aircraft. During the Gemini 4 space program in 1965, the second US manned spaceflight, a UFO was sighted by astronauts James McDivitt and Ed White. For about an hour, the cylindrical object kept pace with their ship. Photos taken by the astronauts were analysed by Mission Control, but they were never officially published. Flying objects of extraterrestrial origin were allegedly also seen by the crew of Apollo 11 in 1971. These objects are mentioned in transcripts of the communication between the crew and Houston Control Center. Buzz Aldrin, the second man to set foot on the moon, said he witnessed an unidentified object during the flight. "I observed a light out of the window that appeared to be moving alongside us," he said. However, there are many explanations as to what this could have been. Further evidence of the existence of alien life forms are the accounts of Russian cosmonaut Vladimir Kovalyonok, who spent 217 days on the space station Salyut 6 between 1977 and 1982. "I've seen many UFOs in space," he said. The 62-year-old is surprised by the silence of his colleagues. "I don't understand it when the other cosmonauts say that they didn't see anything unusual in orbit," he said, and added that he saw several UFOs of various types, shapes and sizes.